This is Jarrod Horak, and in this video, I'll take a look at the latest 3-year-old division news. The next graded stakes race in this division is the Grade 3 West Virginia Derby. That will be run on Sunday, August 3rd. I'll probably cover that one on my channel next week. And let's start by recapping the Jim Dandy Stakes, and that was run earlier today at Saratoga. And your heavy favorite Sovereigngty, your Derby and Belmont Stakes winner, he won the Jim Dandy by a length over a game Baeza, and it was more than 9 lengths back to the show finisher Hill Road. Now, McPatrick did make the lead as expected, and Baeza and Sovereigngty, they were chasing that pace throughout. The pace wasn't that fast. And Baeza battled with Sovereigngty, turning for home, and he did give the favorite a real battle, but Sovereigngty is all class. He won despite being washed out, and he was not 100% cranked for this race. And he definitely had Baeza measured, and he will be fully cranked for the Travers Stakes. Now, as for Sovereigngty, he was just getting warmed up at 1 1/8. He's going to love getting back out to 1 1/4 for the Travers. Now, Baeza continues to improve, but he's definitely a cut below Sovereignty, and this was really a golden opportunity to beat the Derby and Belmont winner. On this day, he was not at his best. The distance was shorter than his best, and Baeza did give it his all, but he came up a bit short. Sovereignty was definitely best in this race. The final time was 1:49.52 seconds. And Sovereignty, the 1-2 favorite, paid $3 to win. And finishing behind Baeza and Hill Road in second and third were Plex and Sandman. And Hill Road, Plex, and Sandman were pretty well bunched up behind Sovereignty and Baeza. And as I said, the top two were well clear of the rest. Now, earlier this week at Saratoga, they ran the Curlin Stakes. And for that race, at 1 1/8 for 3-year-olds, a prep for the Travers as well. And Crudo carved out the pace. And your heavy favorite was Chad Brown, trainee, Strategic Focus. I picked him on top. It seemed like he was lightly raced on the improve. He should have been able to handle a field like this, but he wasn't able to do it. He chased the pace outside under Flavien Prat. He took over the lead in the stretch. It looked like he was home free, but then his inexperience showed. He swapped back to his left lead in the stretch, and then he let his stablemate Chancer McPatrick in the race, along with 13-1 long shot So Sandy. And this one came down to Chancer McPatrick and So Sandy. And So Sandy came in, he bumped Chancer McPatrick and knocked that one off stride, but he recovered quickly. He dug in, and Chancer McPatrick prevailed by a head. So Sandy ended up a half length in front of Strategic Focus, and Strategic Focus was well clear of the rest of the field. Irad Ortiz Jr. rode the winner for Chad Brown. The final time, 1:49.71. Now, Chancer McPatrick was game in victory here, his first win around 2 turns, and So Sandy might have won this race if he would have been able to just run a straight line in the stretch. And then Strategic Focus was still a bit green, just his 3rd lifetime start. He still has upside. But I don't think any of these are going to be able to step up and compete with Sovereignty, Baeza, and others in the Travers Stakes. They were 3 horses that were bunched up at the end, and I think that they're just going to be a cut or two below the top horses in this division. Now we're on to the latest news and workouts. Now, journalism, he's back in Michael McCarthy's Del Mar barn following his 3rd Grade 1 win of the year in the Haskell at Monmouth Park on July 19th. There are no set plans for his next start, and everything's on the table. It's possible that he does stay home and he takes on older horses in the Grade 1 Pacific Classic at Del Mar on August 30th. They could ship him again and run him in the Travers, but he's had a lot of shipping this year. And now they're back in California, the Breeders' Cups at Del Mar, so there's probably a better chance that he'll run in the Pacific Classic and then the Breeders' Cup Classic, as opposed to shipping him all the way back around the country again to face Sovereignty in the Travers, and then going back to California again. So I think it makes the most sense for him to probably run in the Pacific Classic against older horses next, but he will run into Nissos in that race, and I'll talk about that one in a few minutes. Now, East Avenue, he's your Grade 3 Met win winner, and he breezed 4 furlongs in 48.80 seconds, 26th best of 77 at Churchill Downs on July 20th. It's possible that he's aiming for the Pennsylvania Derby at Parks on September 20th, and he's going to probably run in one race prior to that. A possible Pennsylvania Derby prep race might be the Ellis Park Derby on August 10th. Now, Magnitude, your front-running winner of the Grade 2 Risen Star Stakes and Iowa Derby, he had a slow workout, his first workout since the Ohio Derby, in 51.68 seconds on July 19th, but he picked up the pace this week for Steve Asmussen. He went 5 furlongs in 101.70, sixth best of 13 at Saratoga on July 26th. He's targeting the Travers Stakes, and his early speed makes him a dangerous contender in that race. Now, your Grade 1 Woody Stevens winner, Patch Adams, he's spending the summer at Churchill Downs. He's breezed 3 times this month for trainer Brad Cox, and his most recent workout, 4 furlongs, 48.80 seconds, 47th best of 155 works. That was on July 26th. The Grade 1 H. Allen Jerkins Memorial on the Travers undercard is his next likely start. Another horse from the Brad Cox barn, a horse that's popular in the comment section in my videos, Grade 3 Jeff Ruby Stakes winner, Final Gambit. He was 4th in the Kentucky Derby, and then he's disappointed in a couple starts since then. But he's been working on turf at Saratoga. He breezed on turf 4 furlongs in 49.81 seconds, 5th best of 42 on July 18th, and another turf work, 4 furlongs in 48.60, 5th best of 54 on July 25th. I watched his workout on July 18th, and he seemed to be gliding over the turf course and handling it easily. Now, the next big turf race for 3-year-olds at Saratoga, that would be the Grade 1 Saratoga Derby at 1 mile and 3/16. That's on August 2nd, and that's probably his next goal. And if you look further out on the stakes calendar, the Grade 3 $3.5 million Nashville Derby at 10.5 furlongs on turf at Kentucky Downs on August 30th might be a good spot for Final Gambit. That might be a race that they have circled in for a start later this year. Now, Bob Baffert's 3-year-olds have moved to Del for the summer. Let's talk about them now. And we'll start with Barnes, your Grade 2 San Vicente winner. He finished second to journalism in the Grade 2 San Felipe Stakes, and he's not been seen since finishing last in the Santa Anita Derby. Now, his last 2 works were at Del Mar. He went 4 furlongs in 48.20, 42nd best of 162 on July 19th, in company with Nothing Like You. And then he worked a faster 5 furlongs in 59 flat, second best of 73 on July 26th. And that July 26th workout was in company with Firmus, and Barnes was behind early. He was working on the outside, and he gradually did make up ground in that workout. Citizen Bull, your 2-year-old champion, he's worked 4 times since finishing 4th in the Grade 1 Woody Stevens. His most recent solo workout, 4 furlongs in 48.20, 13th best of 81. That was at Del Mar on July 21st. Gaming, he's worked 4 times since winning the Affirm Stakes at Santa Anita, and he went 4 furlongs in 48.40, 19th best of 81 at Del Mar on July 21st. Nevada Beach had his first workout since winning the Los Alamitos Derby. He worked 4 furlongs in 48.40, 19th best of 81 on July 21st. And after he won that Los Alamitos Derby, there was talk of running him in the Travers. We'll have to see what they decide. Now, Gaming in Nevada Beach, I just mentioned them, and they did work in company on July 21st. I watched that workout. Gaming was on the outside. Nevada Beach was on the inside. They were never really asked for their best. That was an even company move. Decent work for both horses. Mattocket Road, your Woody Stevens runner-up for trainer Bob Baffert. He fired a 4 furlong bullet in 46.60, best of 81 at Del Mar on July 21st. Now let's preview the Travers Stakes, the possible field, very early possibilities now after the Jim Dandy Stakes. We have Sovereignty, Baeza. Chad Brown mentioned Hill Road prior to running in the Jim Dandy that he would like to run him and get him out to 1.25 miles. So we have Sovereignty, Baeza, Hill Road, and then we have Magnitude. I mentioned him having a recent workout, one of the fastest 3-year-olds out there, and he's got dangerous early speed. And then we have a couple horses that Bob Baffert may run in the Travers, Goal Oriented, Nevada Beach. Then we have Gosger, your Preakness runner-up, and Haskell runner-up, Chancer McPatrick. He just won that Curlin Stakes. I mentioned that. Sandman, he was last of 5 in the Jim Dandy Stakes. Burnham Square, he disappointed in the Haskell last time. And then Journalism, it's possible that he comes back across country, but as I mentioned, maybe the Pacific Classic is the race they're going to target, but we'll have to see. Now, the first thing that stands out in the Travers, the lack of early speed, looking at the possibilities. And one situation Sovereignty has not seen is a quality speed horse like Magnitude carving out the fractions. Now, Steve Asmussen's runner, he could be dangerous in the Travers if he gets away with soft splits. and he just keeps on going because he does have that dangerous speed and he can carry it a decent ways, like at least a mile and an eighth, which he did in that grade 2 Risen Star. So he's talented. He's got some good speed ratings, and maybe he'll give Sovereignty a run for his money. Now, Sovereignty, clearly the horse to beat in the Travers. He was not close to his best in the Jim Dandy. He won that race on class, and he will be fully cranked for Belmont in the Travers. And Mott seeks his first Travers victory this year. Now, if Sovereignty does win the Travers, the waters will get considerably deeper in the Breeders' Cup Classic at Del Mar, because we have some good older horses this year. Horses like Fierceness, Mindframe, Sierra Leone, last year's Breeders' Cup Classic winner. White Abario, he's won the Breeders' Cup Classic a few years ago. We have Nissos as well for Bob Baffert targeting the race. And speaking of Nissos, he ran his record to 5 for 6 with another easy victory in the Grade 2 San Diego Handicap at Del Mar today. Now, in that race, he was bottled up on the inside, and he was Miramati, his stablemate, was out there setting the pace. But they were able to find running room in the stretch, and he won easily. In the late stages of that race under Flavien Prat, he was wrapped up. So that's a good sign. And Pratt said after the race, he told Baffert that he thinks the Pacific Classic would be a good spot that he could run on and get longer distances. So the Grade 1 Pacific Classic looks like it will be the next start for Nissos. He's 2 for 2 at Del Mar as well. Now, if you're interested in my full card analysis, I'm covering Del Mar full cards this summer, all summer long, from July 27th through September 7th. Now, I had a bit of a slow start. It was a tough opening week, a lot of upsets, some horses that were tough to come up with for winning races on opening week. But this week, I've been tearing it up. Really good days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I think I've already had 5 top choice winners. The card's still going today. So hopefully I'll keep that good Del Mar momentum going into Sunday, July 27th, and then through the rest of the meet as well. And I'm also offering select Saturday full cards at Saratoga, August 2nd, Whitney Day, and August 23rd, Travers Day. Now, for Jim Dandy Day, it was a frustrating day for my full card. A lot of my top choices were finishing 2nd and 3rd. So that was a tougher day at Saratoga. Really good week at Del Mar this week. And hopefully I can bounce back with a much better day, Whitney Day and Travers Day at Saratoga. Now go to the runawayhorse.com on my shop page for upcoming full cards and to purchase my products. And I will include a link to my shop page in the video description below. I'll email my analysis 1 to 2 days before race day, and I update tickets after scratches the morning of each race day. And check out my Better Bets blog at therunawayhorse.com. And when you get to therunawayhorse.com, you'll see Better Bets free picks. You'll see that tab at the top of my homepage. Click there, you'll get a free pick from around the country each day. Like, comment, and share these videos if you like them. Subscribe to my channel as well. It's free to subscribe. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.